sync this audio. I don't know if that was loud enough. Yeah, that was good enough.
Sticks.
Yeah, dude. Is that what they call them in the
Sticks.
biz?
Yep.
Sticks.
Yep. Let's
All
get
right.
the sticks.
Nice. Zach Scheerer. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Dude, so we were talking beforehand, and I was doing some research a little bit. Like, I don't do a lot of prepping, but like I definitely want to like have an understanding like what you've done and some shit. And dude, you've been on some cool ass sets, man.
Yeah, I mean, It's been
a wild
little
ride.
bit. I mean, to me, I haven't even scratched the surface, but
It's just the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's getting to the point now to where I'm like, okay, cool, things are moving.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't even see any light at the end of the tunnel when I first started. Like, I'm like, I got out there so green.
Yeah.
And going, okay, dude, how the fuck do I start this?
Right.
Like, I come from the fitness industry. How do I do
transition?
this? Yeah, making that transition was nuts. But it's like anything in life, man. You just baptism under fire.
Yeah, dude. That's the best way to fucking learn, dude.
Yep.
Just dive head first. Are you the kind of guy who just dives head first in
Absolutely.
everything?
In anything.
Yeah.
And then I encompass myself to the point to where I'm bad at balancing with everything else.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like
balance is relative, though.
Oh, dude. That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's very true.
It's like you can go super hard for like 5 to 10 years, and then you can just chill.
Yep.
Relatively chill. You know what I'm saying? Like for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah. That's what you want to do, man. Like, it's like in fitness, same thing. Like you could realistically make a massive transformation in 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
And if you do the right things to maintain that,
right,
it can last for a lifetime.
It's all about the consistency.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
So what made you want to like make that transition from the fitness? Because you were doing well in the fitness space, right?
Yeah.
You still do fitness stuff, right?
Yeah. But I actually used to work in like commercial gyms.
Right.
As a director of training for DFM, which is, they're still around out here in St. Louis. They used to be kind of married to Club Fitness, but I think they kind of split went their own ways. I'm not really sure exactly what went down with that, but yeah, one day, backing up when I was a kid, I mean, I always did want to do acting. I remember being in like 6th, 7th grade, joining a speech class, and it was supposed to be just for like, fun.
Yeah.
And I ended up like doing these little speeches. They were basically like little monologues, to where then I would get sent to these little competitions and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and a good buddy, we found a script by Mel Brooks. When his name's Nick Formhalls. He was a good buddy of mine, back in grade school days. And we found the script written by Mel Brooks called The 1,000-Year-Old Man. And we traveled around and did basically a little scene in front of people, and then they would grade you.
Oh.
And it wasn't necessarily even acting, because we also did like debating as well, but that was one of our skits. So right there, I think that was a huge bug. I mean, I used to be down in the basement, acting like I was Bruce Lee and, Jean-Claude Van Damme and shit when I was a kid, because I started martial arts when I was like 5.
What did you start doing?
I started in Taekwondo. That's where I started.
Right on.
That's been basically my foundation built through the time, but what was great is my instructor was also a professional kickboxer. So, and my dad actually did that as well.
That's cool.
And then both of them did boxing. So I didn't have we had the traditional punch and pull the hand on the hip and shit. But also it was more practical as well. And my instructor did jiu-jitsu and judo as well.
Oh, nice. That's legit.
So it played into it. And you could really see it when I would go to competitions and stuff, because I had been hit in the face. I mean, I wasn't afraid to get hit in the face, whereas most Taekwondo practitioners, they don't. You can't hit in the face.
Right.
You go to a competition, don't hit in the face. It's like, what the fuck is that?
This isn't the fight.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so one day, it'd always been sitting there, but then somebody told me along the line, I'm sure you can't be an actor. You know what I mean? That's impossible. Let's get practical with this,
Especially here in the Midwest, dude.
It's hard.
They'll crush your dreams faster than anything, like Midwesterners will.
Most of the time, it's your best friends and the people you love that do it. And that's just because, it's out of love.
It really is.
But,
it's like their own fears and insecurities.
Right. Absolutely. But, one day I'm working out at Webster Groves Club Fitness. And a buddy of mine, well, he's actually one of my trainers, one of my employees. His name's Joel. He had a client that was the marketing director for Rawlings football. And I'm working out, and one day she comes up and says, "Hey, you got a good look. You should go out for this like little casting type deal tomorrow." And I'm like, all right,
Sure.
I got nothing to lose. Let's
No
do it.
agent or anything. You're just like, let's go do this shit.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And I went and I got it.
Nice.
So I was the Rawlings football guy for some time. And then I started dabbling into like men's physique and stuff. And I happened to run across a guy named Greg Plitt, which is I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is. One of the most inspirational dudes you will ever get a chance to watch if you go on YouTube. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2015.
Oh.
But he was a big inspiration, big mentor for me. I'd run into him at an Arnold Classic, and he was a mentor to me even before I met him.
So did you compete in men's physique?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I don't think I did very well, but
Dude,
no, I mean around here I did, but like going to like the Arnold Classic, dude, I just got demolished.
That's some next level shit though,
No,
dude.
it is.
Well, in that sport, man, like you have to be phenomenal to do well in the beginning.
And it's so subjective, dude.
It really
is.
is.
It's apples to oranges to grapes to blueberries. I mean, it's like
it's true.
You know what I mean? There's in the criteria for judging, especially nowadays, it's like, what is it? You could dive into that, and it's just so subjective. But the good thing is, I had a decent look to me as well, and so I feel that build helped a lot.
For sure.
In Hollywood, sometimes I don't know if the build helps or hurts. I know it helps with like lead roles.
Yeah.
It can, but basically my manager had said at one point, "Hey man, like you're a little too big. We gotta we should be able to put you in a suit. You look like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Rip the suit off. You're fucking Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. More slender.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Have the build and the oomph in the right places.
How do you manage that though? Like
I don't know, man. Mostly I'm just maintaining now, man.
Yeah, like barring like the certain like genetics to kind of have like those maybe like longer muscles.
Right.
Because what you just explained, in my mind, like Ryan Reynolds came up.
Right.
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like,
and that's like the Greg Plitt physique. If you ever once we're done with this podcast, you gotta check him out. I mean,
what is it?
His name's Greg Plitt. I mean, he's bro, one of the most motivational dudes you'll ever meet or ever see in your entire life. I mean, the physique is one thing. I mean, he's got an ungodly physique, but it's his mentality that you'll fall in love with. Greg, I assure you.
He's a handsome man.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. Well, was a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately he passed, and I got a chance to kind of be friends with him for a little bit. I had about 6-7 months to where when I moved out to California, him and I hung out a couple times.
That's cool though.
We were supposed to go fucking skydiving, and unfortunately he passed away before we could go. So
it happens.
I was a pussy, and I backed out when I first came out there.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, dude, for a celebration. You guys moving out here. I want to take you skydiving." I'm like, "Dude, you're fucking nuts. I'm not going skydiving."
Yeah.
And so he just looks at me. He goes, "Hey man, when you want to stop being a pussy and face
fucking
your
pussy,
yeah. When you want to face your fear," he's like, because he's the guy that always say, you attack those fucking fears, no matter how big or how small.
Yeah.
That's where your true life will begin.
That's true, man. Like, whatever it is, if you're feeling you're feeling that resistance or that fear, like you don't want to do it, that's probably a good sign you should do that thing.
Right. Like he had this like little saying, like when he starts to resist, he automatically attacks. Because you have about 3 seconds to where you'll talk yourself out of it.
100%.
But when you feel that 3 seconds coming,
boom,
just do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fucking true, dude. Yeah, it's a bummer he died, man, but at least you fucking got some good lessons from him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so now you're going to try to go like skydiving on your own now?
Fuck no.
No? I'll take you skydiving, bro.
Man. So, I mean, like, even though I'm like, man, I wish I would have went with them. It was more so I wish I would have had that memory.
Right,
with them,
right. Would you do it for a movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What would you not do for a movie?
I would not get in a fucking ocean with sharks.
Yeah,
Period.
dude. I have a fear of like dark water,
dude,
bro. Like
100%. I went out for a film. I want to say it was like 2 years ago, and it was a good film.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was pretty stout. It was pretty big, and the whole time I had this like almost like little voice in the back of my head going, "God, I hope I don't get this. I hope I don't get this." Because it had to do with a shark, dude.
Yeah.
And even though it's like, obviously a shark's going to be CGI and mechanical, you're going to be out in the middle of the ocean, bro.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Your mind will play tricks on you, bro.
Yeah. But then, of course, the other bug over here is going, dude,
do it.
Do it. Attack it. Like, don't let anything step in front of it. So, I think that's pretty much with anything in life, though. You got those two people talking to you, and they're
For
they're
sure.
you. They're
Yeah,
you,
it's
you
all
know?
you. It is for sure all you.
Absolutely.
So, dude, so like you're working for Rollins, you did
Yeah.
some fitness.
Yeah, I did. I did some magazine stuff.
Yeah.
I did rolling stuff, and I remember going to the pivotal moment for me was I was at an Arnold Classic, and I had talked to Greg, and I remember him asking me, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing? Why are you doing men's physique, man?" I said, "Because I want to get seen. I want to get known. I want to do other stuff. I want it to parlay." He's like, "Dude, look up there on the fucking stage of even the pros. Are any of those guys in the movies on magazines? Very rarely are they on magazine covers.
Right.
Even those guys."
Yeah, it's
He's
like
like, "If
maybe a
that's
handful,
what you
maybe.
want to do that." And I
Yeah.
remember him telling me once I did move out to California, if acting is what you want to do, put 9 of your eggs into that
Yeah.
out of your 10.
All in.
Make sure, 9.5, almost all in. You may have a little egg in that fitness industry, but it's always there for you.
Yeah.
He said, for me, I got so encompassed and so swallowed by the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard for me to get into that acting. And he still did a lot of stuff with acting, but it was hard for him to get into that full sprint because, I mean, dude, he had a website that made over $2 million a year. I mean, how do you walk from that
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and just go, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
kind of.
and he had other businesses going on, he had an energy drink combined with a protein shake and stuff. And he was actually shooting like a little excerpt for that. And that's how he died. He got hit by a train.
Oh shit.
Yeah. In Burbank, 2015, man.
That's
But,
terrible.
but yeah, I mean, I took that advice. So when
Yeah.
I went out there, it was like, let's go. Let's figure out how to do this.
So you get out there, like, how do you start? What do you do? Like, how does one start?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I got out there and, I learned a lot. I mean, one thing you have to make sure that you don't go up to actors that you may know or somebody that started and say, "Hey, can you get me an agent? Can you get me a manager?" It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Like,
You gotta help yourself.
no real manager with any type of reputation behind them is going to grab someone that is completely green off the street. That is a pipe dream. Like that
Right.
rarely ever happens. I mean, you're talking you got a better chance of winning the lottery. But what does happen is when you build a network doing things over time,
Right.
now people get to know you as a person. They want to help you along the way.
Yes.
So what I did was, man,
Sweet
is
enough.
I utilized my business sense of what I had from learning out here. And first off, I started shooting out headshots like crazy. So I would start with a headshot. You got to get your headshots.
Yeah.
And then I started shooting those things off to casting directors, like crazy, man. But I had at the beginning, I was still kind of dabbling with that fitness and that, I was still also, I want to get on a cover of a magazine. I want to do this, and that.
Yeah.
But then once I got that, I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on to more acting.
Right. Like check. Like.
But essentially I would email casting directors my headshot. I would do everything I could. I would say I would work for free. And then I ended up finding, and nobody really ever told me this shit. That was the hard thing. I ended up finding a couple websites, and those were bread and butter for a while. I mean, they got me a few really, really small things. Those websites are Actors Access, LA Casting, and I want to say the other one is Casting Frontier. Now, mainly most of those are going to be commercial type stuff,
Right.
print type stuff. And they do have a lot of other. I mean, there's so many sharks out in that industry. I can't even explain, to where even people will put up like casting calls and be like, "Oh, it's such and such role. It's got lines and it's a principal role or supporting role," and then you find out it's featured background or something. You know what I mean? Like and that happens, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Catfish
really does,
you.
and I learned that really quickly, but. I was willing to work for free. My first thing that I ever did, I got hired for a Santa Barbara college. It was like University of Santa Barbara, I think. I got hired to do a short film for them. And these were people that were actually going to school to do film, directing, acting, all that kind of stuff. And I started with that. From that, I rolled into where I played a Roman general on a History Channel 2 kind of docudrama series.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was like a 2-part series type deal.
Yeah.
Didn't have any lines. Just stood there and tried to look as pretty and squeeze my muscles as hard as I could, which was ridiculous. Would do nothing for me, but I at the time thought it would. You got
paid, didn't you?
Trying to get seen, trying to get my face. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So.
That one I got paid. I think I got $50 a day or something. The Santa Barbara one I got. I don't even think I got anything on that.
Free lunch.
But yeah, exactly. But I was willing to do that, man. Like
you
and
have
then
to.
and then I got kind of lucky, and I mean I wouldn't say luck. I think luck is more a trained ability colliding with an opportunity.
100%.
All I had going in there was, hey, I know I have a decent personality. I know I can get along with people. I know I can work hard, and I know I have some sort of screen presence. I kind of relied on more the physique at that time.
Yeah.
Because it's all I had. And then over time when I started getting lines and stuff, I always knew I had the talent, but they don't know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're going to go off first looks right off.
Dude, nobody believes in you. You got to make them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I also was just very diligent in just practicing, dude.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, I'll look up monologues and just work them on my own.
Do them.
Yeah, and I'll tape myself, watch myself, critique myself, and then like I said, I got not really lucky, but more of a trained ability colliding with opportunity. I went out I was supposed to have one line on a television show called Kingdom. It's an MMA drama. Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's great. And so I went out for that. I was supposed to have one line. I just got done working out, and I walk up to the set, and I'm in like gym shorts and like a black tank top.
Yeah.
And the lady goes, "Oh no." She's like, you check in with the AD, and she's like, "Oh no. We don't need fighters today." And I'm like, "Fighters? No, I got a scene with Nick Jonas tonight, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What's your name?" She looked it up, and she's like, "Oh, I just thought from your build and everything that you were a fighter because we have fighters on the show." And I told her, I said, "Well, I kind of dabbled in that, And she's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a fight under my belt, And she's like, "Well, we got to introduce you to Joe." Well, I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, Joe, how many fucking Joes are there? Joe Schmoes out there.
Yeah,
Who's
Joe?
Yeah.
Joe who?
And she's like, "I'll introduce you to Joe. Let's get you dressed, blah, 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 take you up on set." So she takes me up on set, and she yells, "Joe, come here." Joe Daddy Stevenson turns around.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
He's a short dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's short. Sorry, Joe. Love you, man.
I'm not mad at you. I'm a little less starstruck by fighters, dude. I fought for a decade, bro.
I'm kind of the same thing.
I fought with some of the best. Too,
yeah,
so
I don't really,
he's a bad man.
I don't really get starstruck.
I don't either.
But it was just like, whoa, it's fucking Joe Daddy Stevenson.
That's not who you're expecting.
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean? And so
that's cool though.
Yeah, and so I walked up, shook his hand, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so and so." Well, and I ended up finding out also that the lady that was taking me up there was from Galesburg, Illinois.
Okay.
And I'm from East Peoria, Illinois.
Right.
And they're like 20, 30 minutes away from each other.
That's crazy.
So it was really weird because she looked at my ID, and I still had my Illinois ID at the time.
Nice.
And,
that probably helped you.
I think so, yeah. And that's just weird how certain things connect like that.
Yeah,
and then
man.
Joe's like, "So you have some experience, blah, 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 let me see." And I showed him my one fight that I had, and it went well for me. And he was like, "Holy shit." He's like, "Okay, yeah. Here's the thing, though. If I bring you on the show as a fighter, I can't guarantee you're going to get any lines. I can't guarantee that you're going to get a massive amount of screen time. But what I can guarantee is that you will be working 5 days a week, and you're going to have an opportunity to get on set and learn and do all that." I was like, "Dude, I'm in." He's like, "However, you will not be able to do your scene tonight because it makes no sense for you to be at this party, and then all of a sudden you're back training with Nick and all those guys." I was like, "Hey, I'm all good." So funny story is I take it next day or two or whenever I went on. I go in and, I'm kind of the more built dude. And Joe's like, "Hey, rip your shirt off. I want you over here doing this, blah, blah, blah. When Nick comes out, do this, this, and that, whatever." You know? And I noticed when we're kind of standing around, Nick Jonas is kind of like eyeing me a little bit. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, this dude's probably insecure. He's going to fucking be like, "Why is this dude got his shirt off?"
Right.
Like, get this guy out of here or something. But I couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, the dude was the most humble, awesome dude ever. But he's staring at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's the deal? And then Joe comes up. He goes, "Hey, Zach, can I talk to you real quick for a second?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go, dude. I'm getting kicked off here." I'm like, great.
Too goddamn handsome.
Yeah. And he goes, "Hey, man, Nick really likes your look. He's wondering if you wouldn't mind being his fight stunt double for the series.
Oh shit!
And I'm like,
bro.
Really? I was like, but Joe, dude, I'm like 20 pounds heavier than Nick.
Better
He's
for
like,
him.
Yeah. He's like, it's okay, man. It's okay. You know, maybe you lose like 5-10 pounds. You can do that in like a week, right? I'm like, yeah. And so he's like, all right, let's do it.
That's cool,
so
dude.
That really kind of, I mean, that got me my SAG card. That got me my Screen Actors Guild
Right,
card.
yeah.
Just right there.
How do you get your SAG card? Because you have to have like 3.
Yeah, dude.
I had a buddy.
Such a catch-22 on that.
Yeah, I had a buddy explain it to me. He lives out in L.A. He does mostly like he does a lot of background shit, but like he'll have some FaceTime. I don't think I've heard him actually have any speaking lines though.
Yeah, so he's more like featured type stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a few ways you can get your SAG card. One is, yes, if you are background, you can continue to you can get your SAG card through your background roles. However, you're pretty much going to be stuck doing background roles for life.
Because I can't tell you how many like every big show I feel like the dude's been on. But
Right.
It's like it's always just
But you've
like,
never seen him speak. And the sad part is that unfortunately is what is going to continue to move on if you go that route.
Really?
Because once you're kind of pigeoned as that in the industry,
that's tough.
that's what you are. You can't put a background role or a featured role on your resume. You can't do it.
Right.
It may say on IMDb you're on 50 things.
Yeah.
However,
it's like you're
like if you were to call up the casting director and say, like, so for instance, I've worked on a couple FX shows.
Yeah.
And when my first FX booking happens, more than likely that casting director, when they're about to hire me for another FX booking, is going to call the other production and say, it doesn't always happen, but they could easily say, hey, how was it working with so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe just, can you tell me, did so-and-so work on your set?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, boom.
Could be that simple.
If it's a background, they're not going to know.
Right.
They don't. There's also two different casting directors. There's a background casting director, and then there's the regular casting director.
So does the regular casting director deal with like actors that are going to be speaking?
Exactly.
Okay.
Principal, supporting,
yeah.
Guest stars, co-stars, stuff like that. Not background. Background has its own casting.
Okay.
Yeah, but so that gave me some experience, man. Like,
That's
I learned
all good
a lot.
information, dude.
Yeah. It's great, man.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know any of that shit.
Dude, people don't know that shit, man.
I didn't know that shit. I mean, going out there, I was as green could be.
Yeah.
All I knew is that I had my ears and eyes open, and I was trying not to be an asshole.
You paid your dues.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fuck
dude.
yeah, you did.
Hell yeah, man. I went out there with like 50 G's thinking I'm good. That shit was gone in like 8 months.
Dude, LA's expensive, bro.
Oh, dude. Like, it is, man.
And it's a good time, too.
And I've been, and I work still. The funny thing is, people think I'm just out there hanging out. I still work, man. I still got a day job.
You got a day job?
You got to do it.
What's your day job?
Do it. I do security.
Do you? Nice.
I do that on the side.
I can dig it.
And what's great about it is they're very conducive to letting me go to auditions and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I still do other things. Every once in a while the modeling pops up. I do some training online. And
you gotta do what you gotta do to make the dream happen, dude. Like,
got it.
I'm coming up on 2 years of self-employment, and it's just like, if you ask me what I do, man, it's not. There's no straight line answer.
Exactly.
I do whatever the fuck.
But that's
I need
an
to
entrepreneur,
do.
man.
Yeah, dude. You gotta do whatever you gotta do, man.
Exactly.
And it's funny you're talking about like doing the commercials. I was reading one time like I think Vince Vaughn was I think he got cast for some like national commercial like out of Chicago, and then he just like took that money and then moved to L.A. and then like kind of parlayed that into acting.
Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like Matthew McConaughey, he moved out with a couple $100.
Yeah.
And just went for it, man.
Yeah.
And
dude.
he was trying to work behind the scenes. That's the funny thing is.
Oh, really?
He wanted to work behind the scenes originally.
See, Matthew McConaughey, you can't bring him around your girl.
Hell no.
He's gonna take.
Actually, my girl.
He's gonna take her.
I don't think my girl's actually into Matthew McConaughey, but I probably couldn't bring her around. Like, trying to think who I could. With some of those soap opera guys, I couldn't bring her around. I'm sure. She's a big Marky Mark fan.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Sorry. Well, I mean, Mark Wahlberg. Sorry.
Whatevs. Was it kind of weird getting out in that scene? Like, I mean, LA is different than the Midwest.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I love the people out there. I got some good friends out there.
Yeah.
It's different though, for
it's
sure.
different. I mean, I can 100% tell who is really from LA and who moved and where they moved from.
Really?
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I can tell when somebody's from the Midwest pretty quick.
Really? What sets them off? Like what?
It's just more of a humbleness. It's you don't get me wrong, dude. You have some amazingly humbled people out there. I mean,
absolutely.
I got a good buddy that's also a producer on a couple things we're working on right now, and you know he's actually not from out there either, but he moved out there a long time ago, and you know he's as humble as they can be as well. But I've also worked with some people that are just absolute dickheads.
Yeah.
And then I've worked with people that are amazing. And a lot of the times what I've noticed is the people that you think are going to be so awesome are dickheads, and the people that you think are going to be dickheads are awesome.
You just never know who a person is until you actually like. That's the thing I've learned having these conversations. Like you can't really have like this preconceived notion of who somebody is, because it's going to get ruined.
Yeah.
That's why they say you should never meet your heroes. Like they're going to fuck it up for you.
Yeah.
A couple things I noticed different about the culture. Two things that I absolutely love about people out there. They're big huggers.
Yeah.
Compared to like here in the Midwest, like I like hugging people, but we're kind of weird around here. It's like, do I shake your hand because that's what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then they're fucking dreamers. Like,
oh yeah,
dude, like they will not shit on your dream.
Nope.
Like they'll be like, yeah, dude. But the flip side of that, I was talking to I don't know if you know who Andy Frisella is. He's So we were talking, and he's like, yeah, man. But like the flip side is that like they don't really have that same like drive, that work drive like we have here in the Midwest. We have like that blue collar work drive.
They want the trophy at the end,
but
they don't see what they have to do to get there.
Right.
They just kind of think it's just going to happen. They're all over the place. They don't realize they got to fucking climb that mountain.
Yeah.
And maybe at the top of that mountain, it ain't even the fucking mountain they were supposed to climb.
Right.
Now they got to go back down and climb that other one. You know, and I see it, but yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of different people out there, and there's a lot of sharks.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of great people too.
Yeah. Like, is it weird doing monologues like by yourself in front of the camera to send those in? Does it feel weird?
Not now. I will admit, when I first started, it was a little weird. I used to be like, I don't want anybody around right now. I don't get. You know, my girlfriend Sarah, I'd be like, hey, well, she actually helps me read a lot. But, you know, at the beginning, I would get like kind of nervous. Like I lived with my buddy Mladen for a while. He's actually from out here as well. I lived with him for a while, and like I'd be like, hey man, can you like shut up and go into your room and ignore me for a little bit while I do this? You know, that's how it used to be. Now, man, you know, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who's around.
Yeah.
I can turn it on. Like right now, you could just
do a monologue.
Fucking turn it on, dude.
That's like a good skill to have, because it's we judge ourselves, right? And
you gotta let that go.
Just
man.
fucking quit judging yourself and just do it.
And it helps because it helps with life too.
It really does.
Because it's like I can just turn it on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do a monologue right now, bro?
But
you could. You could.
I could if I wanted to, man. My go-to monologue is, it's a scene from The Breakfast Club.
Is it?
And it's when Andrew Clark talks about why he got into detention for that Saturday, why he had to go to Saturday school.
Oh.
And he talks about how because of the physical and emotional abuse from his dad, he kind of turned it on to a weaker guy to try to impress his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, he realized like that ain't him, and it was his father. And then he just like breaks down over that. It's such a great monologue scene because he starts kind of chill and cool, and there's even a little spot where like he kind of giggles and laughs.
Yeah.
But then he says, I taped Larry Lester's buns together. Like, and he kind of smiles, and everybody else kind of smiles except this one guy goes, "That was you?" And he goes, "Yeah, do you know him?" Like, you know, like now it's like, oh shit, it's real. There's somebody that, like, this is a fucking human being right here.
Right.
And then he goes into it as to why he did it, you know, for his dad.
Yeah.
And he breaks down and cries. So the scene itself has such a great, unique arc.
Right.
And it's a range of emotion that I can show to a casting director.
That's powerful.
And people have, you know, dude, it's so weird how these auditions go, because I could walk into an audition and they got lines and we read the lines and they go, damn, okay, listen, you got any monologues prepared? Yeah, I do. Do you need a couple minutes, or you want to do it right now? It's like, I'll do it right now.
Oh, nice.
And boom.
Always be prepared, right?
Yep.
Dude, I got to start this camera over. It only does 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, it's all good. But I'm not even going to.
Did it just stop on you?
Yeah, cause so with the DSLRs, it only records for 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is why it's nice to have the producer.
Yeah.
That,
So did we get that or no?
yeah, no, we got it.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got it, and then it just stops after 30 minutes,
Okay,
and then it just
okay.
keeps going.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so we got everything. I
Cool,
just had to
cool.
restart the camera.
No, you're good, man. So yeah, I mean, when you go into those, you got to go in prepared. And
100%.
I mean, I go hardcore with those auditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I go hardcore. That's your chance, man.
Dude, you got to give it your all, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there have been times where, maybe I got other stuff going on in my life or whatever's going on, and you just got to do it. Like when I got Lil Dickey, when I landed the Lil Dickey show, Dave on FX,
which is phenomenal.
I love
dude.
that show, dude.
I like happened upon that show,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, this is fucking great.
And we just got renewed for season 2.
That's fantastic.
I'm so fucking pumped.
Yeah, dude.
I'm hoping he brings Nick back.
How cool is it to like kind of interact with some of those people on the different
Very
sets?
cool. Very cool. And Dave is the most humble dude you will ever meet. He is the nicest guy. He's not full of himself. He wants to give everybody love. He
seems super authentic.
He cares, man.
Does he?
He wants to see people live their dream.
Nice.
He does.
That's dope.
100%.
Those are good people.
Oh, he's such a good dude. I can't even say anything bad about that guy.
Man,
but I will have to admit, I didn't know who the fuck he was when I first got hired.
Oh, you didn't? Wow. So I mean, I'm a fan of his music, and like as a music fan, I wish he would put out more music. But he's an artist; he just does his thing, I guess. Yeah. Because I'm like, dude, you put out this sick ass album, and I'm like, it's been like 4 years and you haven't put anything out. And then somebody's like, dude, he put out this other album by like The Brain, which is like this character that he does rapping. Yeah. So I listened to that. I'm like, that's so it's cool, but I just need some, because his fucking freestyles, he writes them all.
He's good, dude.
He's good, man.
He's good.
He's uber talented, and just like, I'm no fucking expert, but like I've watched a ton of film. Like I'm a nerd in that way, and like that show is fucking a masterpiece,
dude.
It's so well written. I like how he took like certain episodes and focused on characters, and you like really explored the depth of
his
them.
life too. I mean, he brought some reality from his life, and like the episode I'm in, dude, it's the best episode. I feel
when his girlfriend and him break up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best episode. The art to that episode is so good. Like, because it's so funny, but it's so real.
Yeah.
So real. Like that argument he gets into with his girlfriend where he's like, you don't want me to have any fucking ambition? Like, what are you even saying? Like, you know what I mean?
I've had that argument before,
I'm
dude.
sure. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm fucking grinding here.
Exactly. And but you see Allie's point and you see his, and that's what's so...
Like, neither one are wrong.
Right. It's like, dude, you see them both. And then when she makes that speech, dude, it hits you because it's like, holy shit, like, priorities are real. Like, in especially being a man, like, every man's got to go for his journey. He's got to do his own thing. He's got to accomplish and conquer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, if you don't have your Adrian to your Rocky, what do you do then?
Yeah. Then what?
Do? You know,
dude, life really is about the people. Like you gotta find the balance, because it's so easy to just fucking put your nose to the grindstone and just go. But like, if you don't have the people around you,
exactly,
like what's it matter?
And when you get there, you're not gonna be happy then.
No.
You know, it's not gonna happen.
I saw a meme. It was a picture of Adam Sandler, and it said, what was it? If when I make it, my friends are making it too, was a person or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It was like, that dude brought up his whole fucking crew.
Exactly.
And like all the people around him.
Exactly. And that's how you have to be, because, dude, out there are people that they'll fucking stomp and step on everybody up to get to the top.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that person. My main objective going out there is to show that if my little farm boy ass that grew up in the middle of cornfields out of nowhere can go out there and do it right.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything. You can go for that promotion at work. You can lose that 15 pounds. You can change your life if you don't like it. You can move out of the city that you live if you don't like it. You have the power with your two hands.
Yeah.
And my biggest problem is where people, they give that power away.
Yeah.
And they give that power away by going, well, my mom this and my dad this and so did this to me and I can't do this because of this like, dude, you're giving your power away. You might as well cut your fucking hands off.
Victim mentality.
Exactly. That mentality gets it ruins people.
It's
and it ruins families. It's bad, man.
Yeah, it's man, that mentality. I will kind of like pair that with like the scarcity mentality of like, there's not enough success for everybody.
Right.
Like my success is your loss type shit.
Right.
Like that shit's cancer, man.
Exactly.
It's fucking cancer.
Exactly.
Because we can all win. We can help each other win. You have the fucking control. Like, you're not in control of everything that happens in your life, right?
Yeah.
But if you understand that, like, you are in control of how you respond to everything that happens in your
Right.
life. So it's like,
Right.
hey, man, you're not a fucking victim.
Exactly. Nobody. I mean, I understand circumstances do hurt.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that you don't have to stay a victim in that circumstance.
Right.
You have the power.
Right.
You can go. You can make small micro pivots to change things that over time, that maybe that minor micro pivot doesn't seem like much. But over time of doing those small, tiny micro pivots over a year may be this massive change.
Yeah.
And it may not even be external. It may be internal. And maybe now you have the power within your own brain to make that big step that you didn't have before.
Yeah.
And most of the time it starts with yourself, man. It starts with getting yourself in check. It starts with getting your health, your fitness. It starts right there. Most people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
They think that it's like a car, dude. If you don't take your car in for an oil change, if you don't get its tune up, you don't change the tires, rotate them, shit like that, you don't do that, your car's going to break the fuck down.
Right.
And when you need it one day and you really need it, it's not going to be there.
Right.
So that's where that trained ability colliding with opportunity comes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily luck. It's preparing every fucking day, getting up and doing the work every day, the due diligence, going to the gym and paying your fucking dues. And you have people that are like, dude, why do you go to the gym every day? What's the big fucking deal? And people think it's vanity.
It's
not
That's
vanity.
Where they fuck up because it's not.
It's not vanity, man. That's just a byproduct.
It's self-love.
Yes.
Is exactly what it is.
And the clarity and mentality that you get when those endorphins kick in when you go outside,
dude.
there's no drug in the fucking world that can ever replace that if you've ever felt it.
Right.
If you've ever felt it, you'll understand.
I tell people you don't know how good you can feel until you feel it.
Yep.
When our body is so good at finding homeostasis, it will find a way to make it through this world.
Right.
And people, you'll be overweight or whatever the case may be, like you're eating shit, you're not getting sleep, you're drinking, all these fucking things. And your day-to-day may seem normal, but then all of a sudden, maybe you start cutting out the processed carbs and sugar and different things, and people are like, oh man, I had this fog lift off my brain. I didn't even know was there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't know. It's like this undiscoverable thing, but like you can get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just
nobody
can tell
right
you
there,
it.
that right there, to understand and learn all that, you have to go in life with an open mind too.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the open mind, you're never going to try the certain things or think about the
Right.
certain things that need to be thought about. Like people don't realize how bad sugar is for you.
It's terrible.
They don't realize like how bad this, high fructose corn syrup and shit is for you.
Yeah.
They don't realize that that's the reason that 2/3 of kids like are pre-diabetic now.
Dude,
Like
terrible information out there.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's bad. I could talk about that for an entire fucking podcast.
Yeah, dude,
but
I go on lots of rants about that, dude.
So
because it's important, right? The way we like treat our body and the things we give our gut, it's going to directly affect our brain. It's going to affect
our
how
hormones, everything.
everything, how we interact with our entire
Exactly.
world. It's like perception is reality.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
And when you feel good, like about your actual perception of who you are,
yeah.
like when you work out and when you eat right, when you do those little things, like that might be huge to other people right now. But even think about it even one step lower. If you just make your bed in the morning,
right.
how does that make you feel when you move on to the next thing?
Yep.
It makes you feel like, pull your shoulders back. I'm moving on to the next thing.
I fucking loaned it. There's a book called Make Your Bed.
Yeah?
By it was a Navy colonel. He did.
I watched the thing, but I didn't know he wrote a book.
He wrote a book. I lent it out already. I was like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I got the book right here. But
yeah, man. But it's
But
so true.
It's a win, dude.
It's so true.
Sets the
Those
momentum.
little wins all day make such a difference. And the problem is most people wake up and they lay there for a minute. They whip out their phone. They watch a couple videos, set it down. What am I going to do now? All right, let's go eat my cereal.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch a little TV now.
Right.
It's like, dude, when I wake up, man, maybe it's my problem. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. But when I wake up, dude, it's like, I got to fucking go. I got to go. Okay, let's go. What can I do? Okay, let's make a list. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's get to the gym. When can I squeeze the gym in?
Yeah.
What all the stuff do I, like, it's, dude, I'm going through these checklists in my brain like that.
Are you a morning guy?
It depends. Like I am, and then I will hit like a like just a complete wall sometimes.
Yeah.
And then for like 2 days straight, I'll sleep till like 10:30.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll be up and up at like when I first got here, I was up at like 5. And really in California, it's like 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning, yeah.
And so I did that like the first 3 or 4 days. And then, well, today I got up pretty early to make the drive, but like yesterday, then I slept till like 10:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kinda
So
caught up with you a
it
little
just,
bit.
yeah, it just depends. Like it depends what's going on. And
Well, with acting, and maybe I'm wrong, but like, is a lot of it done at night?
No. I mean, it's
I feel like a lot of times
it just
I see
depends.
like movies they're talking about like, oh, I filmed all night.
That happens. But it depends on the script. It depends
Okay.
on the location. It depends on
A
what's
lot of
going
different
on. I
things,
mean, if it's a darker movie and is like for instance The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't film that during the day.
Right.
Everything's at night.
Right.
The majority of the scenes were out in the city.
Yeah.
So it just really depends. Like I worked on did a movie called Soul Hunters, like this little low budget film we did. It was a great script. They just didn't have a lot of money.
Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, no, it was on Amazon.
Amazon.
And
I feel like I've seen it on there.
yeah, it's on there.
Who's in that movie?
Me. I'm the
Just
main
you?
guy.
You're the main guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, and then let's see. There's David Josh Lawrence plays the bad guy. It's done by the Acevedo Smith brothers.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, you have to look it up. I mean, I did it in 2016, I want to say, so I was pretty green still, but it was such a great, unique opportunity for me because I was on every page of the script. There's some great fight scenes in it. It's kind of a sci-fi martial arts action thriller. And just getting a chance to carry a film, no matter if it's low budget or not,
Right.
it gave me, for one, a huge learning curve, and for two, it gave me screen presence that I could show in my reel, which a reel is pretty important as well. And it showed, moving on, that I can carry an entire movie.
Right.
It's
getting those reps in.
Right. And so, like right now, we're like I just kind of partnered with a guy. His name's Warner Davis. And a director as well. We have a director that we work with a lot. His name's Andy Palmer. And now it's kind of moved into where I'm writing my own shit.
Oh, nice.
And so what had happened with that is, for one, I was tired of fucking waiting for the real shit that I wanted to do.
Right.
Like it's cute getting a couple of these Grey's Anatomy, Lucifer. That's at the time, 4 years ago. Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I first found out I landed Grey's Anatomy, I screamed at the fucking top of my lungs in my car after the car and just broke down in tears.
Right.
Because it's like, dude, I worked for 3 years to get to that.
Right.
2 years and 2.5 years to get to that, to say 8-9 lines. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was such a win.
It's that step.
Exactly. And then Lucifer was a little bit more, and then I did a couple movies and other things too. But
Yeah.
it's like they all build upon each other. But it wasn't exactly where I needed to be. And I knew if I continue to just go down that path, I'm not as in control as I want to be.
Right.
I'm in lieu of other people. They decide.
Right. And you're just waiting.
It's non-subject. They're gonna do whatever
Right.
they want.
So instead, you're like, I'm just.
So I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
So what had happened is I had started writing a script. It's an MMA script, and the title right now is called Fight Rich. It may change. It probably will. But it's got heart, and I used a lot of elements in my life. Like my dad, just throwing it out there, my dad has had a drug problem for the past probably 18, 20 years. It's been ups and downs for him. It's been rough on me and the family, but we're sticking to him. We're trying to getting going. We're actually getting him into rehab next week again.
Oh.
So, which is one of the reasons I came back here, But it's like one of those fights, man. It's like, man, you always have that one voice that's like, man, fuck that dude, I'm done.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, man, you're bigger and you're better than that. You gotta be the man. You gotta step up. You gotta be the rock. You gotta be the rock of your family.
Yeah.
But so I put that, some elements of that in the story, and but I sat on it, and I'm over in Maui this past. Let's see, no, it wasn't this past March. It was last March of 19. I'm over in Maui with my grandparents, and my grandpa pretty much raised me. From when I was like 5. Dude, everything I did, I was his shad. Everything he did, I was his shad.
Yeah.
He was an entrepreneur himself. He was a hard worker, busted ass. He would go work at he took a fruit stand and turned it into a massive garden center where they sold tractors and trailers and flowers and flatbeds and all this stuff, man. And built a nice little nest egg for him and my grandmother and the rest of the family, to be honest. You know? And so that always inspired me.
That's legacy, dude.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Absolutely. And but he's always been my number one hero. He would always been my mentor, my why. You know? Of course, all the rest of my family is my why as well, but he's the apple in my eye in that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And so we're in Maui. His health had been deteriorating. He had gotten lung cancer back in 2004, and he had to have surgery in 2005, I believe it was. And he had a huge recovery, and he did really well, which the doctors were all like, man, that's great, because he had like, I think it was a third or close to half of his lungs cut out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so he had like only like a third of his lung capacity when he was breathing.
Wow.
But it came back, and he was good for a while. And then I would say within the last 2 to 3 years, more like the last 2 years, it really caught up to him. So we're in Maui, and I had this script at home, you know, and I'm sitting on it, and I'm just seeing this man that had been, you know, such a star in my eye for forever, just deteriorating.
Yeah.
And I'm going, man, why am I sitting on this thing? You know, I got to get this out to somebody. And I got to go with it, because I wanted it to get done while he was still alive, you know, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. He ended up passing in May of last year. But the moment that I got back from Maui, I grabbed that fucking script. I had just worked on a film called Witness Infection with a guy named Andy Palmer. He was the director, and Warner Davis was the producer. And before Witness Infection, I worked on a short film that has ended up winning like 100-something awards.
Oh, nice.
Was it's killing it still. And it's about a true story about a guy back in the 80s. He was Asian American, and he was over here. He's out on a bachelor party, and it was right around the time. It's called Justice for Vincent. It was right around the time that Ford and GM and all them just went down in Detroit.
Okay.
It was right then. And like Mitsubishi and Toyota and those guys were like
popping up,
killing the game, right? And so a lot of people got laid off in Detroit. And this guy's out for his bachelor party. Some racism occurred to where these white guys that they were disgruntled auto workers had been laid off, started saying shit to this guy. Well, he popped off back at him, and I believe there was one little fight between them, and the Asian American got the best of him. Well, then those two assholes went and got a bat.
Ego.
Came back and
got bruised.
Beat him, took his life. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And so I played. Unfortunately, I played one of the assholes with the bat.
Right. How does that feel? You know what I mean? Dude, one of my favorite fucking movies of all time is American History X.
Great fucking movie.
Oh my God, the film is so amazing, right? But it's like you have to put yourself in.
You have to go to a space.
A very uncomfortable space.
You did. You know, when I was working. My dad, the guy that played the dad in that show or in that movie, was Billy McNamara, and Billy has been in. I mean, this dude used to run Hollywood in the 90s, early 90s, man. He's been in anything and everything. You look him up.
I'm going to do it.
And
talking.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And so I remember just kind of taking his cue. Like, he just kind of jumped right into it.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, you know, he just turned. And so I'm like, I kind of drew off that. I kind of fed off that.
Right.
Because to tell you the truth, it was the first role I had that I was an asshole. Yeah, I was like, you know,
you're normally like the good guy, like the baby face kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I played kind of an asshole in Lucifer, but then you end up finding out that his brother needs heart surgery, and that's why he's playing a fucking asshole.
Right,
so
there's a reason.
So he can win the show, you know.
William McNamara.
Yeah, Billy McNamara. William McNamara.
And he goes by Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's been in a ton of fucking movies.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he used to run the game, dude. He was in Surviving the Game. Copycat.
Good. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Dream a Little Dream.
Dude,
I mean,
the 90s were his decade.
Oh,
bro.
dude, he was killing the game back then.
Yeah.
Just killing the game.
How interesting is it how you can just have like a 10, 12-year period of where like you're in fucking everything in Hollywood, and then they're just like,
It's a game,
we don't
dude.
need you anymore for one reason or another. It's all about who you know. That's why the networking is so important.
Yeah, and it's also very important to, and Billy will tell you straight up, he made some bad choices. It's also important to try not to let Hollywood grab hold of you.
Yeah.
Try not to let that happen because, that can happen too.
Kind of change some folks.
And he's a great dude, and he'll tell you straight up, I made some mistakes.
Yeah.
But he's still killing it. He's still kicking away, bro. He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. I loved working with him. It was crazy because me and my brother were big film buffs, and both of us, like fucking Joel from Little Dream of Little Dream. You're kidding me? Because my brother's like, anything I land, I send to, which is funny with Dave. I told him, hey man, I landed this Little Dickey series. He's like, fucking Little Dickey?
Little Dickey, bro?
Yeah. Who the fuck is he? And he's like,
yeah.
Dude, look him up. So I looked him up, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. So was that kind of like one of your more like difficult kind of characters to have to get into? Just,
No, dude, because it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take things that I've lived through myself and pull it out.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got it. Everybody is human.
Right.
Everybody has those human emotions. Just can you connect with them?
Like, how do you tap into it? Like, what do you think about? Like,
what I mean? I try not. It's so weird to explain because I also try not to sit there and go and get myself mad, because if I do that, if I don't try to be in the moment and go with what's actually going on, if you try to be in the moment, you just get in, and like I said, like I used Billy, if you're there in the moment, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll come out.
Right.
If you try, in my opinion, I know there are other people that do this, and I know that it's a technique. If you try to sit there and go back in your brain for a little bit, in my mind, I don't know how many times I can use that in the future, and it still have the same oomph.
Right.
Why not listen and be in the moment, and it'll take you there?
That's a good
because you
one.
have muscle memory.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll be able to tap into it then in real time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I can almost really compare that to fighting in the way of like, with any actual athletic endeavor, like you want to find this routine that helps kind of get you to this flow state. So it's like whatever kind of triggers you can do to get to that state.
And it's good to practice them to where they come in like this very truthful state.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's going to come a time where maybe you thought you were going to be able to get out of that Dars truck, but
then you don't.
It didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, and then what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. You could use so many different scenarios, and it's kind of very true with acting and fighting in that sense, to where, what are you going to do if you're acting it this way and all of a sudden the star that you're working with decides to pull a fucking little curveball in there and change it up? You better be ready to go at it right there and improv.
Right.
Little Dickey, there was a lot of improv.
That's a big part of probably comedy in general, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I had done the whole, I had the whole script. I studied for 2 or 3 days, all my lines. I walk in the fucking trailer and they go, "Hey, here's a new script. We'll be on set in an hour."
Oh fuck, dude.
And you got to be able to turn it on. And again, the trainability colliding with opportunity is that there's an opportunity. I can either fuck this up, or they can go, holy shit, this kid only had an hour to do his stuff, and he still brought it. Some people in the business will be like, man, what is this, man? I want more time for my lines and blah, 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 and I've been doing this for 20 years, and all this shit. And it's like, dude, you lost. Yeah. Like, the moment you get there, you lost, man. Like, look where you're at. Like, I remember sitting on that set. I'm not going to say who it is, but sitting on set, it definitely wasn't Dave, but sitting on set, and, one of the other supporting actors are going, how fucking long do we have to stay here? I swear to God, I'm tired of just hurry up and wait. I'm so tired of it. Like, I'll tell you what, if they tell us that we have to stay for an extra, I'm not. I'm going home. And it's like,
so you could be at an
dude,
office
really? Look
right
what
now.
the fuck you do for a living. You're bitching because you got to stay for another hour.
Like, holy shit.
And you're going to get paid like $900 for that hour?
Right. Well, and we were talking the amount of people who are unemployed right now. It's like, who wouldn't kill to have $900 an hour?
That's just a thing with me, and maybe it's just my mentality coming from from where I come from, but it's like, dude, I don't deal with that. Like, you know, I just can't stand that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, look where the fuck you are, man.
Yeah.
People look up to you, man. Stand true to some true character. Quit being a bitch.
Like gratitude.
Like, sorry to say that, but like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, dude, stop.
Right.
Look what you do. What, you're going to work another 2 days and then you don't have anything to do for 3 months.
Oh, bummer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Life is hard.
And this is a person that, you know, has a very, very big leg to stand on in regards to a career.
Yeah.
And it's like, man. And there are people like that. There are people in the business to where you're like,
for sure.
Like, for instance, right now I'm in a great spot to where, you know, I have me and Warner have multiple projects that we're working on. They're kind of our own projects. And, you know, with me and Warner have a great partnership. They're the ones that I took Fight Rich to. And that's what opened the door to me having this great partnership. And Warner likes that. Me and him are very similar. He's a producer, so he's an entrepreneur. He's out there making movies. And he's go, 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 go. And when me and him met and he read the script, first off, he loved the script. And then when we met, we're like, dude, I just found like my fucking doppelganger right here when it comes to work ethic. Yeah. Like, if me and you hook up, bro, we're going to fucking get some shit done.
That's a good feeling.
And then that's what we did.
Yeah.
So now we have 5, 6 scripts that we're just hitting and stoking the fire with. And then whatever flame starts going first, okay, let's go.
Right on.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could talk more about the scripts.
I get you.
But unfortunately, I can't. I mean, I can talk about Fight Rich a little bit because I wrote it.
Yeah.
But we got a couple. We were talking about Greg Plitt earlier.
Yeah.
We got something along the lines for Greg as well.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be good. Down the pipeline, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. But
yeah.
But the thing is, too, is if I didn't, again, a trained ability colliding with opportunity, if I didn't, on the other things that I worked with Warner, if I didn't bring my A game, if I had a B or a C game, if I didn't bring that A game every time, every day, and work through those long hours, not be the one that bitches, they're going to call you back.
Yeah.
They're not going to call back the fucking dickhead that keeps bitching all the time.
Right.
And even now, we're to the point to where we're looking at some big name actors going, well, should we cast that guy or not? Because I heard on this set that he was problematic in this way. And what if we have a couple days that go this way and that way, and we just don't want that headache?
Dude, reputation,
you know what I mean?
Reputation is everything. Like, that shit follows you.
Right.
Dude, have you ever thought about like going to like Atlanta or something for acting? I know. They shoot a ton.
Well, I just shot a film called Collection in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And where we'll shoot Fight Rich is probably going to be in a different state as well.
Yeah.
I think right now we're looking at maybe either Nashville, Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee, or maybe even Bama or Atlanta again.
Yeah.
But the thing is the reason that you want to go, and right now I'm kind of, again, open up some inside scoop here. The reason that you want to go to those states is because they have cash rebates from the state.
Oh.
So let's say your budget's $10 million and they give you back 30%.
Oh, that's legit.
You'll save $3 million.
Yeah.
So now if an investor comes in, you say, hey, look, we got this much private equity. We're bringing this much to the table. Oh, and you're guaranteed 30% back from the state.
Yeah,
so
you're going there.
You
it makes sense why somebody, because Georgia, dude, they fucking bid on a lot of movies and they get them.
Yeah,
they get them. I know The Rock does a lot of movies down there.
It's moving, man.
Yeah,
it's moving. And so is New Orleans. New Orleans is a hotbed right now, doing well.
Is New York much of a scene anymore for the acting?
Yeah. New York is still solid.
I mean, I figure it's definitely big, probably in like the theater scene for sure, but
it's big all through the board.
Yeah,
it is.
They're just big.
Yeah. I mean, L.A. and New York are probably still your bread and butter.
For sure.
Yeah. But I mean, Georgia's huge right now, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it starts even getting bigger.
It's crazy. Yeah, I just know like Atlanta and that whole movie scene down there is like growing and growing and growing. I just don't know what kind of opportunities down there.
Yep.
I got a buddy who, he acts, and like I've been telling this guy forever. I'm like, dude, like if you really want to fucking act, bro.
What's his name?
His name's Adam Flowers.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You know Adam?
Well, I don't know him specifically, but I knew of him from Danny Smith, which he runs the Built by Battle.
Built by Battle, yeah. I'll probably sit down with Danny on the podcast pretty soon.
Yeah. Danny's a good dude, man.
Good dude, but so Adam Flowers, right? And like, I mean, we used to work together like Express Scripts. I've known Adam for a number of years, and he's always had this acting dream. I'm like, bro, like
you gotta go.
I'm like, you have no kids. I go, like, just fucking go, bro.
You gotta cut it.
And then it's like, oh man, whoa, I need to get this real, or
nope.
I need to
just fucking go.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's always a fucking reason why you can't do something. But I'm like, look, dude, if you want to act, man, like, that's where you need to be, bro. Like, you need to be there. So like, he's doing some shit around here, like. For those type of actors, man, where like maybe they don't want to take that fucking leap. Like, I mean, I feel like you need to.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Can you do it like in Missouri? Can you do it like in Kentucky? Can you do it? You know, just like finding your local scene. And
here's how I'll put this, because I by no means am even near where I want to go.
Right.
Okay.
But you have some experience.
But I mean, I have experience now. Yes. Right. But I'm no means to where I want to go. And to me, you have to think of the law of numbers. You're already going after something where you probably have a better probability of being a fucking astronaut.
Right.
So why not place yourself in an area where the odds are more in your favor? The way I looked at it when I decided to do it, and I still see it like this, is I will fucking die for this. No matter if I get to where I want to get or not, I am all in.
Yeah.
Like, I will fucking die for this dream. I will not fucking give up no matter what.
Right.
No matter what.
Doesn't matter if it takes you like 10 years of
I don't give a fuck if I have to live in a goddamn cardboard box.
Right.
I don't care if I have to live in my car. I don't care if it doesn't matter. And you have to fucking have that.
Right.
Dude, you have to.
You have to.
You just have to be willing to.
To do anything.
You know, I wouldn't say anything.
Because
I'll tell you what.
That's probably too strong of a statement.
I'll tell you what. There are some.
Especially in Hollywood.
I'll tell you a story right now. So, and you really want to hear the story. I don't know if he ever talked about it on a podcast. But Greg Plitt being one of my mentors, he went in for a jeans company promotion. I'm not going to say what the company was. And it was a huge promotion, man, to where if he got it, he was the model. He'd be on the fucking billboards. He's
the guy.
It's a mass modeling campaign. You're talking maybe $500,000, $250,000. I don't know. Just throwing numbers, but it's up there.
Right.
And so he's through the casting director. These things have casting directors too. And he said, the production came down to you and another guy. And I may be butchering it, but it's
gist.
Yeah. He said, basically, it come down to you and another guy, Greg, and I told production to go with you. And he's like, oh, fuck, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. He's like, yeah, so what are you going to do for me, man? And he goes, oh, well, I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to fucking bring my best. I'll be shredded. I'll work as hard as I can. I'll work the long hours. I don't give a fuck. I'll do whatever I got to do. He goes, that's not good enough, man. What are you going to do for me? Like, what are you going to do for me? And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not following you. He's like, what are you going to do for me?
Ah, shit, bro. That shit.
And Greg's like, well, I'm sorry. That's what I said is all I can do. And the dude goes, well, you can get the fuck out. He goes, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker will never sell his fucking soul.
Right.
For that. Because you have to walk into this. Another thing that I would say huge and comes from me, and I already kind of touched upon it a little bit. It's not about the fucking money, bro. If it was about the money going out there, I would have quit a long time ago.
Right.
Because I ain't made fucking dick.
Right.
So far. Well, I mean, I've made some money now.
I hear what you're saying.
I made some money now.
But, you get some checks now.
But it's like, if the money, like, you have to ask yourself, would I do this if I wasn't getting paid? Would I do this every day still if I wasn't getting paid? And if the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't be fucking doing it. It's not there. Your heart's not right there.
Right.
Because I'm willing to fucking work 60, 70-hour days at a different job and go do everything else I want to do. And if I got to work even more, I'll do it. If I still get my workouts in, I still get my eating in, I still get if I have to sleep for fucking 3 hours, that's just the way that it fucking is right now. But it's not the way it's going to be later. Some people can't compartmentalize that. That's only going to be temporary.
Right.
Now, temporary subjective.
It is subjective.
For me, it was 3-4 years.
Right.
To other people, 3 or 4 years is a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's not that long.
But when you're willing to die
right.
for what the fuck you're doing, and it may sound stupid. No, this guy's willing to die for acting? Like what? No, I'm willing to die for what I stand for and what I want to go for in my heart.
For your passion.
For my passion. I'm willing to die for what I want to do, the journey I want to take in my life. That's it.
Dude.
And if you're not, don't even fucking try.
You have to have that. You absolutely have to have that.
But then there's the other side of the coin where people may only go in half-ass, and one day it just happens for them, dude.
That's not the norm, though.
You know what I mean?
Don't count on that shit, bro.
Don't. And see, that's the problem. People do.
Yeah.
And we were touching on that a little earlier, to where you said, you know, certain people, like Andy Frisella said, certain people come out there, they just don't have the drive or the work ethic because they think being out there is enough.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the biggest thing I realized. Like, you know, everybody's a dreamer out there, but not everybody has that work ethic.
Not everybody's a doer.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the complete opposite out here. Like, people will fucking work hard out here, dude, but like,
they bury their dreams.
They don't dream.
They
big
bury
enough.
their dreams to just survive instead of planning a life.
Yeah.
You know, they're not planning a life. They're working to die.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Like,
fuck that.
like retirement. What the fuck is retirement?
What is retirement?
What is that?
Exactly. I say that all the time.
You're just waiting to die?
Like,
Is that what retirement is?
Dude, I watched it with my grandfather.
Yeah.
When he retired, yeah, he went out and did stuff, but he never truly retired here.
Right.
He had a 8.5 acre land. That thing was immaculate. When he retired, he just moved to another venue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an entrepreneurship mentality, you're going to have that for life.
Right.
You're not satisfied with anything.
Yeah, almost to a detriment.
Yes, exactly. You're not satisfied with anything. But if you have the worker's mentality, if you're the cog in the wheel, if you just subject yourself to the third party out there,
Yeah.
that's the mentality you're gonna have for the rest of your life. You don't know any different.
Right.
You've never felt any different. You've never given yourself a chance to feel any different.
Right.
And most of the time, it comes from the trickle down effect from your family, man.
Yeah, dude. More dreams are killed by like just letting the opinion of your family in.
1 million, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think it's Alan Watts said this, that we're raising our children to grow up to raise their children, to grow up to raise their children, and it's all wretched and no vomit. So it's like it's just over and over to where we're not raising a child to go out and go fucking do whatever you want.
Whatever,
right now.
dude.
And funny thing is we say that to them when they're like 3-4 years old. Oh, you want to be a doctor? You want to be an astronaut? But then they get 16. It's like, no, when you graduate, you're going to go to college.
Yeah.
When you're done with that, you're going to get a job.
Right. And then you're going to settle down and then
Exactly.
you're going to buy a house
and then you start dating somebody. Why aren't you guys married yet? When are you going to get married? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like you have to also let things just flow the way they're supposed to, man. When there's no pushing and there's no controlling, things happen, and those are the best things.
Right. Yeah,
you know,
man.
those are the best things, dude.
There's more than one way to make it in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's definitely something I try to instill in my kids.
Right.
Like, hey man, if you want to be an artist and just fucking do art for a living,
somebody's making money doing it.
If somebody is doing it, you also can do it.
Yes.
It's just it may not be easy or comfortable.
And here's, taking something from like Gary Vee. Gary Vee says, dude, whatever you want to do it. But if you have to have a side hustle to make the money to survive to do it, then you just have to work harder to do that. And that's what I did for the longest time. And you got to be willing to do that. Most people think it's the end all be all with just the one. They don't realize they don't think, well, I could go work at fucking Walmart and make, $12 an hour doing this, and this while I still doing this. If it's conducive to having my open time to go after my dream. I'm not saying it has to be at fucking Walmart.
Right.
But I'm saying like maybe now in this COVID shit, maybe Walmart's real.
It's the only place fucking hiring.
But you know what I mean? It's like you have to also be willing to sacrifice that kind of stuff.
Put your ego to the
side.
Like,
and the funny thing is hearing I don't have time, but they just finished the entire season of something.
Right. I hate that.
You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, I'm guilty of it too. It's not that I don't sit down every once in a while and watch TV, but the problem is, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm whack. I sit down and I watch that stuff and I'm like, after about an episode, I'm going, okay, I'm seeing this dude on TV. He obviously ain't fucking sitting down watching TV right now.
I think about that,
like,
dude.
You know what I mean?
I'm like somebody just worked to create this.
Right. What am I doing right now?
I'm just consuming.
Right.
Like,
I'm a consumer. And that's that's a bad mentality too.
Yeah. Dude.
But I get it, dude. Downtime is downtime, and but what do you do with your downtime I think, can really define what you're going to become.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you know,
It's like when nobody's around, when nobody's watching, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. And with me, man, it's hard for me to sit and watch that stuff.
I don't even watch certain shows or a lot of shows anymore because I'll look and see how many episodes and how long they are. I'm like, oh, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
Like, man, well, there goes 3 months. Okay.
It's like, man, I got to be working on something else, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, yeah, man, let's we'll wrap this up.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
What's we kind of touched on some things that are coming up, but you know, if there's anything you want to leave like the folks with, or how they can check you out, or you know,
yeah, sure.
anything you want to direct them to.
I mean, I have a Facebook page. I have Instagram, Scheerer. I mean, you can go to IMDb if you want to see some of the stuff that's coming out. If you have IMDb Pro, you're able to actually see a lot more, like pre-production stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But then there's also a lot of stuff that we don't ever put up there because we don't want it out. But yeah, as far as looking me up social media-wise, I'm on all the platforms.
Yeah.
I'm not really good with Twitter. I don't screw around with Twitter all that much. I wish I did more on YouTube. But the thing is right now I'm more of in a building stage to where it's like, it's almost, when I put something out, it's almost more for me as a remembrance, like a stepping stone. Like, I'm more documenting my journey.
Right.
It's not necessarily that I'm like trying to get out content, you know, like
right.
I rarely ever try to get out content. I don't think I ever try to get out content.
Right.
There might have been a period there where I thought I was going to go more fitness to where I was doing that.
Kind of play that game.
And dude, that's just a downward spiral there, bro. Cause you're not you.
Yeah.
I see so many people that are not themselves.
That's a whole other conversation, like the issue of like social media, right? Like, fuck, dude.
But as far as things going on, you know, Dave got renewed for season 2. I'm praying that they bring my character back, but if they don't, they don't. I mean, I'm not defined by that.
Right.
I got a movie coming out later. It's called Collection. I think it's coming out in September. Well, I'd have to talk to Warner when the actual date is, but I want to say it's going to be later this fall.
Okay.
It may get pushed. I mean, with everything that's going on,
right.
It may get pushed.
This year, everything's whacked
but it's
out.
You know, I don't have a massive role in it, but I got a decent little supporting role in it, starring Alex Pettyfer and Mike Vogel. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those guys. You ever seen the movie Grind? Skateboard movie?
Mm-mm.
How about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original remake with Jessica Biel?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike Vogel is the blonde-headed dude.
Okay.
And he gets put up on that fucking chain with the hook.
Dude, yeah, he gets fucking hung up on that hook.
That's Vogel, man. Ooh. Yeah. And then I think he was in Bates Motel and stuff. He's got a solid leg to stand on.
I'm better with faces than I am names.
You'd know his face.
Yeah.
And then Alex Pettyfer in there. He's from like Magic Mike and I Am 4 and Beastly.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, it's a decent role. Warner produced it. And this, I'm not even, dude. I'm so excited for the stuff that we're working on right now that will probably not come to actually be seen until like 2022.
Right.
Like we got some stuff that are huge that we're working on that I wish I could go into. But again, too, I want it to speak for itself because if by chance it doesn't happen, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I like to let it come out on its own.
Right.
But there are quite a few things that are going to be pretty big. And then my baby, my Rocky story is Fight Rich. So we're working on that.
Will that probably be like the next thing that kind of drops for you?
I hope it's the next thing. You know, we're in pre-production right now as far as getting certain things done. I hope that's the next big boy because I'll be the man on that.
You're the man, dude.
Yeah. And then there's a project that will be coming out later when we start pre-production on it. Sheldon Lettich is directing that project. Sheldon was the director of Lionheart.
Oh, nice.
And Kickboxer. I think he actually wrote Bloodsport.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's legit.
There'll probably be a little cool curveball you guys will see with that. So, but yeah, so I mean, things are moving. But I think the last thing I want to say, man, is never fucking get complacent with where you are. It should never be, oh, I'm the guy that was on that, or I'm the guy that did this. It should always be, and it shouldn't even be I'm the guy that's going to do this. I think it should be more so, I'm right here, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to attack with everything that I have.
Yeah.
And whatever comes out of that is going to come out of that based upon me bringing my best self. You know, that's the main thing, bringing your best self.
Right.
Staying consistent, not listening to that external party. Too many people are puppets to other people's ideologies and strategies.
Oh
and
yeah.
Do your own research, and just know whatever the fuck you want to do, you can do it. I mean, 100%. If even my baby tiny nerd candy success that I have right now is to tell, you can do whatever the fuck you want, dude. I mean, I'm out there doing what I love.
Yeah.
And it's moving and it's working.
Yeah.
And it can be done.
It just takes time, dude.
Just build and never give up. And know that that's what you want to do. And always remember, to get to the highest highs on a roller coaster, what do they have to do first? They bring you all the way up.
Yep.
You shoot all the way down to hit that high. So know I have this thing that I do. I'm a little long-winded. So
you're fine, brother.
I have
no
this
worries. I just want to be respectful of your time, dude.
I play games with myself to where if I'm if something big is going, if like something bad's going on, like right now I'm dealing with the stuff with my dad. We're trying to get him into rehab next week. If something bad's going on, it's like instead of just sitting there and moping and being like, oh man, fuck, I gotta go through this. I always have to go shit like that. It's like, okay, I'm at a low, and if I stick through this and I work through it, something big's probably coming on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Because I've noticed every time I land something, it's something big has been going on. There's been some type of adversity that smacked me in the face.
Oh.
Every fucking time, it seems like. Every time.
That's good to recognize.
Yeah, so I play this game with myself to where it's like, if things are going bad, I'm going, okay, now I'm looking for the good.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe it's more so a kind of mind strategy mentality, but if it works, it works.
Well, I mean, you've trained your mind to see,
Right.
the opportunity and the obstacle, right?
Exactly.
So it's like you have to do that. That's a part of being successful.
And most people run from it.
Yeah.
To whereas, dude, like I said, with moving out there, that was the hardest thing. But I used to lay in bed, fucking couldn't sleep because I'm thinking about, God, I got to move out there. I got to move. Like, and it started with like a whisper, and it just got so fucking loud I couldn't even sleep.
Couldn't ignore it. You had to go.
And I had to go, man. And my grandpa was like, if you go, you're cut off, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So no support.
He didn't want me
going,
dude.
Fuck,
well,
dude.
And
that's your guy.
Yeah, that was my guy.
We gotta remember that.
But we literally were about to open up a franchise at Club Fitness.
Oh, were you?
So we had made the strides to get the loan. He was helping me out. We were gonna do all that, and then I threw that curveball on him.
Yeah.
And I had already quit my job because I knew if I went to him and I still worked there, he would try to talk me out of it. I fucking quit before I told him because I knew I got to act and I got to. Yeah. Sometimes you got to burn your fucking bridge.
Yes.
Because if you don't burn your fucking bridge, you'll be on it forever. And you may not even ever get to the other side of where you're trying to go. Sometimes you have to go back and start a new bridge.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had to do with him. But the greatest thing is, I'll leave you with this, man. I sat there with my pop, and, he's telling me, because I had some land bequeathed that he was going to leave me. He had, I could build a house on it in Illinois there. My brother got his old house. And land, so we got all that. He had given it to us because my grandma and him moved to another place that was smaller and stuff. And he said to me, "Hey, you do this, you ain't getting shit." He goes, "Because you got a good thing." I mean, dude, I was making probably close to $100,000 a year, and out here, that's fucking amazing money. Nice. I mean, I had a couple cars, a house. I was doing good, a whole 9 yards.
Comfortable.
Yeah, and And he's, fuck that word. Fuck that
the
word.
enemy, bro.
Yeah, but he said to me, I think you're making a mass mistake, and I don't want to be any part of it, and I'm putting the book down. I'm slapping the gavel. And I said, Pop, listen to me. I think at the time he was 77, 76. I said, I'm sure right now, at your age, that you can think for a minute back on some things that you wish you pulled the trigger on. And right now, that window of time is closed. You don't have that same factor that I have right now, youth, that can be worked with.
Right. You
can't do it. That window's closed forever. I said, I don't want to be that guy sitting in a rocking chair, reading the newspaper, talking to my grandkids about what could have been. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy going, your grandpa thought about moving out to California. That could have been your grandpa up on that TV. I don't want to fucking be that guy.
No.
If this is in my head, Pop, you know me, I got to do it.
This is the time to be the most riskful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I have youth upon my side.
Oh, my God.
And I have a master's degree. I have the education. If I need to go back and play with that, I can. But you know what? As far as that master's degree goes, I can fucking dude, that's a piece of paper to me.
Yeah.
And anybody dude, education is great if you do things with it. But
Right.
you also can't become a fucking slave to it. You can't become a slave to one particular area of life because that's just what you studied in college.
Right. Well, I mean, you should always continue to learn
Should
and
be
improve.
I've learned more.
That's life.
I've learned more on doing my own research and learning and putting my foot in front of
especially in health and fitness, right? I mean, fuck, dude.
But, so that day he said to me, well, you're done, dude. Even after I said that. And so I was staying with him because I live down here. And they live up north in Illinois. And I'm staying with them anyway. And I remember we went to bed. And 6 a.m. rolls around. I get a knock on the door. Zachary, come to breakfast. I'm like, all right, fucking roll out. I'm tired. Sit down at the dinner table. He goes, I thought long and hard about everything you said yesterday. And I don't think I slept at all. 2 years. You got 2 years to go out there and do it. And if you don't, pack your shit up, you come home. He never asked me to come home. So, and then he passed last year. But what was cool is we got to watch a lot of the stuff I did together.
That's awesome, dude.
So,
yeah.
He was proud.
Yeah.
I know he left proud, but he still won't get to see the success that I really wanted to get.
But I'm sure that still drives you.
Oh,
today.
More than ever now.
Right.
I kicked it up 100 notches after he passed.
Yeah.
To whereas some people might. There was a little thought in there that went, man, maybe you should just go home, be with your family, man. Maybe you should just stay home. That little thought was there, but I told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Fast.
Fast.
Because otherwise you sit and you dwell on that shit, and it'll eat you up.
Yeah, man.
It'll grab you fast and run with you.
Dude, your thoughts will fuck you up big time. Like, you are not your thoughts. I don't know how many people know that, or if you meditate or kind of subscribe to that.
100%.
But it's
100%.
Once you kind of learn to kind of let those things kind of in and out.
Let the emotion pass.
Yeah.
Think on it and try to. And when that happens, when emotion grabs me like that, when my thoughts grab me, that's where you got to have the gym, man. That's where you got to have an outlet. And you have to know, one thing I work for me is when I get in that outlet, no matter what mood, I use it as music. Everybody has a mood that they're in to listen to certain types of music.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that certain types of music elevates them to certain areas mentally, right? Or maybe certain things you watch or listen to.
Right.
But when you're down, the last thing you want to fucking do is put on a fucking Tony Robbins video or some shit.
Right.
You're like, fuck this.
You got to feel it.
But if you do put something on like that can slowly bring you out of that state.
Yeah.
No matter how bad you don't want to do it or not. What I noticed, again, playing those games with myself, is I got a list on SoundCloud, like a playlist, and it'll have Conor McGregor, Greg Plitt, Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, fucking Alan Watts, Gary Vee, all these people just spitting their shit at me.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I'm in that down mode and I put that on, maybe the first one or two, they don't grab me. But all of a sudden, man, I'm grabbed.
Yeah.
And something just moved me out of that mentality. Something lifted me up. But at the end of the day, it really was myself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you found the tools and the techniques,
right?
To get you to where you need to be.
Yep.
And that's something that anybody needs to do. It's there's no one way to do it for everybody.
Right.
But like you said, fucking go throw on a YouTube video, right?
Yep.
Who's doing what you've already done?
Yep.
What
do they do?
Yeah, what the fuck do they do, man? Sometimes you have to fake it till you may not be feeling it, right? But it's just all right, man, I know I need to do this, and then the authentic passion does come through and take over.
And see, I have a master's in psychology, and so it's okay to feel those emotions.
Right.
It's okay to go there, and it's very, very healthy to go there.
Right.
You need to go there sometimes. Now, I'm not saying blockade what you feel, because there's a big difference between blockading what you feel, because that's a whole nother road. But being able to, understand yourself,
right,
and understand the conversations with your own mind, and being able to know and compartmentalize your emotions compared to what you truly want,
right,
is different.
Like you can't live off how you feel.
Right.
Right. It's okay to feel sad or to feel down or angry. Like that's why sad music can even make you feel better sometimes because you kind of relate to it.
You let it go.
Right.
You let it out.
Just feel it, let it go through you. But then it's just like if you're operating strictly off emotions, you're always gonna lose because like discipline needs to fucking come 100%. Into play, and like you just got to do it despite how you feel.
Exactly.
Like do it anyway, man.
Do it anyway. I love that.
Yeah. That's powerful.
I grabbed fucking Priscilla's voice and words one time and threw it on one of my workout videos and put it on YouTube, and it's just him saying that, do it anyway.
I messaged him after that. I'm like, bro, you are a fucking genius. Because all he did in my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, but all he did was just take the Nike Just Do It, and then he just put his own spin on it.
It is, man.
That's all it is.
It is.
He found his Nike Just Do It and do it anyway.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. You know how many times I don't want to go to the fucking gym? You know how many dude, there's even times where I don't even want to go do an audition.
Right.
But you have to.
Yeah.
When I landed Lil Dickey, I had 4 auditions that day. It came in last minute at like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, man. I was just in L.A. all day, and I live in Orange County, so it's a drive.
Is Orange County south or north?
From L.A.?
Yeah.
It's south.
South. Okay, that's what I thought.
And so, like, I'm like, man, I got to set up my lights. But I'm like, dude, once again, you can't let an opportunity slide.
Right.
And I knew I'd kick myself in the ass if I didn't do it or if I didn't give my best. Whatever you got to do to prep, you fucking do it, and you just go fucking do it.
Right.
So that's what I did, and I got the call 4 or 5 days later.
It's that simple, man.
Yeah.
Zach, brother, I really appreciate you doing this, man. Like, this was great. I try to make it out to LA at least 2 or 3 times a year. I have to, like, connect with you.
Absolutely, dude.
Dude, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Scheerer.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, guys.